Good evening. You are looking live at Estadio Matt Wilson, home of the Mexico City Aztecs. And we've got a good one shaping up this evening. Welcome to the Virtual Football Network, the Simulation Football League, as the Lexington Miners 2-7 take on the Mexico City Aztecs 6-3. With my partner Mark Lopez, I am Cameron Duty. And again, so good to be with you all this evening. Mark, we've talked before we went on the air about some of the team's strengths and weaknesses. For Lexington, yes, they come in at 2-7, but they are a very formidable threat to these Aztecs, who have lost 2 of their last 4. So we'll talk about the keys to the game and the success for the Miners if they want to pull the upset tonight.
It's probably got to be their offense giving their defense, some breathing room. We talked about this prior to the game, that Lexington have 3 all-star level players, but their offense has been unable to stay on the field long enough for their defense, efforts to pay off. So we'll see if they can do it here against Mexico on the road, which is a challenge in and of itself, Cameron.
Yeah, it is going to be a good game, I think, folks. Stick with us. Hang tight, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to go anywhere for the next hour and a half or so. Grab you a snack and a beverage. Kickoff is underway, and this one should be fun. Mexico wearing their all-black uniforms this evening, looking good out there under the bright lights as this return is made out to the 32-yard line. We'll quickly look at Mexico City starting offense, led by quarterback Jordan Sipe. The halfbacks, Jacob Morrison, Ray Bentley, and the fullback, Buford Van Dam. The wide receivers, Jason Bartley, Honus Odeby, Noe Terrazas, and Jared Dumas. The tight end is Bill Henry. The 2 tackles are Ova Yonda and Setlamina Osilotl. The 2 guards are Greg Forrest and Tlaoani Supremo. And at center, Ogden Foundy. 1st and 10 for these Aztecs, your 2-time defending champions, or should I say back-to-back defending champions.
3-man front by Lexington on defense.
It's a handoff right up the middle to the Hall of Famer Ray Bentley, who on 1st down, Mark, is able to get 9.
Yeah, absolutely great call by Lexington. They line up in a 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end set, prompting Lexington to line up with their pass defense, and that's just too light of a box, and Bentley just runs down the middle. A 9-yard pickup is a pretty good start for the running back.
Absolutely. These 2 teams have met a total of 6 times previously. As we see Sipe, quarterback keeper, he gets the first. Talking about that matchup win-loss record, it is currently Mexico City who has 4 wins to Lexington's 2.
By the way, that last play with the sneak, Jordan Sipe, that's kind of his bread and butter. He has 5 rushing touchdowns. He is 12th most, tied for 12th most across all positions.
It's a handoff once more to Bentley, still going on the ground. Gain of 3. Let's quickly take a look at Lexington's defense here. Defensive ends Chris Andrews, R.C. Puff, and Berto Demora. Defensive tackles Mike Mello, Brendan Puff, and Jalen Swift. The linebackers Philadelphia Collins, Iggy Turner, and Tony Roberto. The cornerbacks Nate Heslop, Jay Rock, and Cameron Shaw. The safeties Travis Arthur and Marco Swift. First pass of the day. Looked like it was going to be completed, but at the end it is Terrazas who has the ball knocked loose, incomplete.
Yeah, knocked loose, pass defended well by Lexington. That's the kind of defense we see them, able to execute. Now it's going to be on 3rd down. Can they get off the field here?
3 wide receivers lined up to the left of Sipe, and as I say that, one motions across. That is Jason Bartley. So 2 receivers lined up on either side of the formation. Sipe with a nice pocket, going to roll out with pressure coming. Runs head first into that pressure, and he is stopped short of the first.
He runs head first into the safety, Travis Arthur. 4 yards, not even close to a first down. Great coverage deep by Lexington, and you force Sipe to go and use his legs to complete the play. You got also good coverage on that run route. Good stop by the Lexington defense.
Yeah, that's very good coverage by Lexington, able to get Mexico City off the field as that punt by K.L. Barrett Jr. is deep, and I believe they're going to say line of scrimmage is going to be the 13-yard line as we say hello to Lexington's starting lineup on offense. We start with Kenny Slider, who lines up under center. We will talk about this offense. They've had some woes this season, but they're looking to turn them around. They've got some explosive players, no doubt. As a Slider throws quickly with pressure in his face, and somehow it's the Hall of Famer Gabriel Manning stretching to get that one.
I mean, at first glance, it looks like a shocking play, but you see the player number 18, and suddenly it all makes sense. It's Gabriel Manning with the catch.
This guy is a magician out there. He can pull a rabbit out of any hat. Just give him a chance to get to the football, which is what Kenny Slider was able to do. Now, a handoff, and it goes nowhere. That is Ian Francis on the carry, and that is just completely thwarted by John Osiris.
Yeah, clogging the lanes down the middle. Good job by Mexico City. The defense themselves, no slouch either, as top 10 in points allowed, top 7.
And a quick third down up here is Slider. Throws with time. He is able to find his man, DJ Bandit, the tight end, and he is pushed out of bounds. We talked before we went on the air, Mark, about Lexington needing to extend drives, keep the defense off the field to catch a breather.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a challenge against Mexico, who is the best in the league as far as opponent third down conversions. They only allow 37% third down completions, and you look at Lexington, who has struggled in that department. That is a good, outcome for them.
Indeed, able to keep this drive alive. We will look at the starting lineup in just a moment. Over the middle, Sliders pass short to the halfback Francis for a small gain. This lineup for Lexington, quarterback Kenny Slider and the two halfbacks Dion James and the aforementioned Ian Francis. The wide receivers Alexander West, Gabriel Manning, and Marquis Sango. The two tight ends DJ Bandit and Chris Arthur. The two tackles Ricky LaFleur and Donnie Treverson and Oliver Tarask. The guard is Zena West, and Phoebe Collins, as we see a nice play along the sidelines there by Ian Francis. And rounding out this starting lineup is the center Jasmine Swift. 3rd and 1, Mark.
Great play on the swing pass, because typically that formation you expect to run, but spreading out the defense by throwing a swing route will, keep this defense on the toe. Look at them, lighter on the box now.
Yeah, and split backs for Lexington on the ground, and that's going to be close with Dion James. Fowler's going to get there, stuff the middle, and they're going to say he's short of the first.
Yeah, going for the power play, pulling a guard. I guess the linebackers just shedding all the extra blocks, getting to him. They'll challenge a play here, Cameron. I think it was short, but we'll get a better look perhaps.
I feel the same, Mark. I feel like we are going to have this call stand, but, you certainly cannot blame them for wanting to challenge this, see if they can turn this over. As we look at the replay, that angle looks a little more in favor of Lexington to my eyes.
Oh, maybe. You're right.
Yeah.
We're looking at the ball crossing the edge of the yellow line, and maybe.
Listen in here on the review as it is overturned. So Lexington is not charged a timeout. A good challenge by their coaching staff, and this drive will continue. Back to the point we made earlier, Mark, it's crucial for them to stay on the field, and I think that, in that case, that is a challenge you do have to make.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also an interesting situation because you're at Mexico's side of the field. If that ended up being 4th and inches, should you go for it? But we're not going to get that question answered because it's a 1st and 10.
Not on this play anyway. We could see it again later down the road. Trips to the right. The handoff goes once again to James with his second carry of the evening. He gets 4.
Yeah, that's mirroring Mexico's philosophy on running out of 3 or 4 wide receiver sets against the passing defense. You net yourself 4 yards per carry and another split joker set.
Now handing it off, running left side is Ian Francis, and again, just nowhere to run for Francis as this defense swallows him up.
No, and the extra guard, number 69, who got pulled out of the line, unable to find the block there, and it's going to force 3rd and medium here.
Trips to the right again for Slider with 2 receivers to the left. Nobody else in the backfield. Slider will roll out, throws deep again. He has his man, and holding on to the football, doing a beautiful job of that is Marquis Sango in his first season here, coming over from Denver.
Yeah, good rollout, moving away from danger, moving away from any potential sack. As look at that protection. Nice completion as well. Kenny Slider, incentivized on the rollouts to get away from sacks. He's been sacked 21 times. but still makes a great play to Marquis Sango, who finds his 12th reception of the season.
Indeed, they want to get this guy even more active. His average is 22 yards, so when they get to him, it's big plays. There's another big play, and there's somebody we wondered when they would look his direction, Alexander West, for the 1st and goal.
Yeah, another key player of this offense who is on some kind of milestone watch. He's just about a little over 100 yards away from 2,000 total receiving in his young career, in only his 4th season. And nice play there by the SFL minor league commissioner, making a catch downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, he went into this game with 1,884 receiving yards. Slider throwing quickly. That is a wobbling pass. I think it got tipped or his arm got hit. And that's just a good defensive pressure by Mexico City and Gerard Brody, the cornerback.
Looking for Chris Arthur on the short dig route, but Arthur couldn't even get a chance at the ball, as I think it was tipped on the line. That was a bobble of a pass there.
Yeah, you get scared for a team such as Lexington when that ball's fluttering through the air as it was, but no harm, no foul. Now, draw play, late handoff. It does not fool Mexico City again, and Skylar Kingsley gets the TFL.
I think late is almost an understatement. Almost like he missed an entire train stop. How late he handed that ball.
So on 3rd down, they go back to the air. Slider to throw across the middle and into a swarm of black jerseys that really had no chance of taking off, and John Osiris bats that one away.
John Osiris Fowler, also within the vicinity. Fowler listed as at an all-star level currently if the all-star voting had to happen today. To force 4th and goal, a field goal, a chip shot, so to speak.
Yeah, Takeda Yuki on to attempt this field goal, and he nails it right down the middle. A very lengthy drive, mark of 14 plays, which, as we said, took a big chunk of time off the clock, and they do get the lead 3-0.
Absolutely. So good start for them offensively. Really got to credit Mexico City, and that's, again, their prowess of not allowing too much 3rd down completions, because, completing 3rd downs is typically the critical part of any offensive drive. They don't allow that at short and goal situation, and they don't allow potentially 4 more points.
Listen, Bartley on the return spins out of a tackle. He has an open hole and one man to beat. They're not going to get him. Yuki's trying to catch him. Not going to happen. 5 touchdown. What a response by Mexico City and Jason Bartley for the return.
I mean,
wow.
What else can you say? Dumas and Bartley have been tearing it up on the return game. Combined, they now have 3 return touchdowns. And I think this might just put Bartley up there at an all-star level as a kick returner. An insane 1 play, 1 touchdown. They flipped the script in one go. Oh my goodness.
Incredible. Yes, this special teams unit, incredibly dangerous. And like you said, when he kind of did the spin move there and got out in the open, he turned on the jets and there were no catching him. Chaz Blackwater on for the field goal attempt. It is good. And in the same breath as we called, it was 3-zip Lexington. We get a kick return from Barley, and they, as Mexico City, now lead 7-3.
Mike Daggs, Coach Mike Daggs of Mexico City in chat says, who needs an offense anyway?
Special teams unit, that's true. I mean, always good to have in your back pocket there, and so dangerous when you have these guys in the backfield. So, for Lexington here, you do what you need to do, right, Mark? Which is basically you try to lengthen the drives, keep Mexico City off the field, and then they come back with a kick return and put you down by 4.
The only, I guess, negative is that the defense is back on the field. We're hoping some rest. They force a fumble, but it's out of bounds, and that means Lexington keep the possession.
Yeah, Chris Arthur with the reception, and he got that one just popped out. As you said, out of bounds. We will introduce this Mexico City defense after this play, barring a major event here. Split backs with Slider. And They try to get that ground game utilized, and they do get the first with Ian Francis. Now, this Mexico City defense, the defensive ends, Saron Yates IV and Skylar Kingsley. The defensive tackles, Chance Wall and Dan Tritz. The linebackers, John Fowler and Qualtzin Yolia and John Osiris. The cornerbacks are Gerard Brody and Miranda Dumas and Liam Ryan and Merrick Itera. The free safety is Jeffrey Daggs as Alexander West makes an incredible one-handed grab for the first.
Yeah, West with another play. Now 2 great catches by the wide receiver. What a play. I mean, just the beauty of a route as well. A post route into the opening of the zone. Nice throw as well by Slider to complete the play.
Absolutely. Rounding out this Mexico City defense, we mentioned the safeties, Jeffrey Daggs and Max Jackson, who you actually seen in coverage right there with Alexander West. First and 10 with a fresh set of downs near midfield. Lexington got it going on so far in this passing game. Early in this game, 2:50 remaining in the opening quarter. Slider throwing over the middle to West, who gets kind of ping-pong back towards the line of scrimmage, but they give him forward progress of 5.
Yeah, just a nice, quick, short route. Now, we've seen that exact route be thrown into an interception by Slider. But I guess in this instance, the defense was open in the short route. They gave away the flat, 5 yards, second down.
And on second down and 5, they ground and pound once more. Running with thunder is Ian Francis, and he will get close to the first. He gets 3. That sets up a 3rd and short situation.
And it's interesting because they've only exclusively gone split back jokers in 3rd and short this game. They've gone power play, they've gone dive, they've gone swing route. They have 3 options that Mexico City has to worry about here.
3rd and 2. What will they decide? They keep it on the ground, and James cannot find a hole. And, of course, thanks to Skylar Kingsley there and some of the other Aztecs, this 3rd down rushing attack just has not been able to really produce any fruit so far.
No, and interesting decision to go with a very slowly developing run play by Lexington. It just gave the linebackers, and especially in this case, Kyler, the defensive end, time to recover, read the play, and get to the running back. It's another 3rd down that goes nowhere, forced by Mexico City. Finally, their offense gets back in the field.
It was a low snap there, but Itachi Yuki was able to reel it in, and a pretty good punt as the fair catch is made at the 18-yard line. Now Mexico City will set up. They give to Bentley, who has a good hole to run through on 1st down, and he collects a 6 on the play.
Yeah, the All-Star with one of the only Mexico City helmets with a gold Aztec on it, signifying his All-Star status. Pretty sick-looking helmet there. Nice play by the I wouldn't say old-timer, but definitely old-timer in the league.
6-time All-Star, just as you mentioned, a Season 9 MVP, as well as an Offensive Player of the Year in Season 10 and Season 13. Now, side throw short, and that's just a beautiful route ran by Noe Terrazas to pick up the first.
And a beautiful combination of routes. You saw the wide receiver run an underneath route. Terrazas crossed it with an out route, and that crossed the defenders. Meant Terrazas was wide open. It's a nice short completion. It keeps the chain moving. It's 1st down.
Inside the final minute of play in this first frame of a football action here tonight from Estadio Matt Wilson. And so far, we've certainly had a good one. A lot of excitement early and often in this game as Bill Henry goes in motion. Sipe will hand it off, and running right up the middle once again is that gold helmet of Ray Bentley.
And I think the defense read past the whole way. They sent the edge rusher towards Sipe, meaning the handoff was just left wide open with 1 fewer defender on the line.
And they'll let that wind down to the end of the first quarter. It's Mexico City leading 7-3 over Lexington. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Camera duty here with Mark Lopez, and we've got a fantastic stats crew tonight. Ellie Diomes and J.W. Hartshorn. And, of course, Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. I'm sure we'll hear from him a little bit later on this evening. They switch sides of the field. Mexico City starting here. Pass. That one's just low, and it is incomplete. 3rd and 4.
Yeah, almost the exact same route as the other. First down completion to Terrazas, but this time throwing to the other receiver playing tight end on the line there. Because now it's the first time they go 3rd and medium here tonight. Well, 3rd and 4 at least.
See what they come out with. As Sipe throwing with good protection, going deep for his target. He finds his man, knowing Terrazas, who's been a busy guy early in this one. How in the world is Terrazas so wide open there?
I tell you how, Nate Hedlund, the cornerback, playing cover 3 coverage, but way too deep, way too much space at Terrazas. You know you shouldn't leave him that many space because he's fast and quick with it. And when he gets wide open, you know Sipe is throwing his way.
Yeah, I mean, it's very often, or should I say very rare, not very often, that you see someone as dangerous as Terrazas there with such space and such coverage. And Mexico City able to cash in on that gaff by Lexington, as it's a 1st and 10 outside the 20 at the 24-yard line of Lexington. They keep it on the ground again. This time we see Jacob Morrison with a nice hard carry for 8.
And now Mexico City's offense is fully online. They're running, complementing their passing. You know, they run in formations that signal pass, such as the 3 wideout formation we just saw. And they pass out of their running formations, which is where Terrazas just got the huge catch earlier. They might sneak it here, Cameron.
Yeah, and you call that perfectly. And a slide at the end of it for Jordan Sipe as he picks up the 1st and goal. Very good job there, Mark.
I can already hear Coach Dax smiling in the coaching truck, saying another sneak success. Keep it in the playbook for many more years to come.
Sipe is really one of the best at doing that. He is able to do so safely to protect the football in those situations. Slide and get down before any disaster occurs, and they leave it to Bentley. Bounces off of a would-be tackler and lands in the end zone for a touchdown to extend the lead for Mexico.
Just a beautiful, beautiful play overall against a single linebacker on the defense. It was just seemingly too easy. They get a touchdown in a very quick drive, and thanks to our statisticians, it's just a 2-minute 56-second drive in 8 plays.
Incredible. And, you know, that was Marco Swift, who was the only man that was going to be able to have a chance at bringing Bentley down, and just couldn't make it happen, as the extra point is good by Blackwater. As you said, 2:56 on that drive, and what that does is that extends the lead. And for Lexington here, Mark, it's interesting because they did a really good job, as we said, in the first quarter there. They maintained the time of possession, kept defense off the field, but now down by 11, you know, you're going to have to start making some big plays.
Absolutely. I mean, even the field goal here will give at least your team some confidence. Look at this return, though. We might have something.
Oh, we have a Manning. Yeah. Oh, so close. He was just a couple of taking that to the house. I mean, just a couple of broken tackles away. When he cut to the edge, Mark, I thought he may have something.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, too. But Mexico City was spread wide open enough. Great recovery by that coverage unit. Manning still with 0 return touchdowns in the season. Sometimes you feel like that's his bread and butter, those return touchdowns, which he had plenty last season.
Yeah, I mean, you know, don't forget about Lexington there with a formidable deep, special teams unit of their own. Slider to throw quickly. It's bobbled and incomplete, falls to the ground. And John Fowler there with the deflection.
I think John Fowler in chat earlier was saying he was watching this game while doing a bit of roofing. So shout out to the linebacker of Mexico City who is risking his life while watching this game. Be safe out there.
He's a much braver man than I'll tell you that. Now throwing quickly. Oh, what a play over the defender. And it's a foot race. There's Manning again to the 10. Trying to spin out of the tackle. He is down about the 6-yard line. Goodness.
It was Fowler and Dags chasing Manning. I mean, you got to give credit to Fowler. We're just talking about him on the roof right now, but he had to book it, try to chase down this would-be touchdown. Credit Dags pressuring and forcing Manning to make some kind of juke move and slow his pace down, and it's suddenly 1st and goal. We'll see now if the Miners can, keep up with the Aztecs scoring.
Big explosive play needed at the most important time for Lexington. As now we see a man in motion. That is the tight end, 3rd-string tight end, checking in to the end zone. And it's a touchdown, a rollout that causes Slider to throw back left to Sango, and they draw closer. A very good offensive production and their first time in the end zone tonight.
That was just a clean play. Look at this quick dig route where the defense has basically started rushing, expecting a run. Instead, Slider rolls out. There was only Dags to cover Sango, but Sango is a much bigger player and frame over Dags that he just made it an easy catch down the middle of the end zone.
Yuki on to attempt the extra point, and it is good. So we've talked about our game notes up to this point. We said that Lexington is going to have to be able to show that they can get to the end zone. They were able to do their very best at that particular drive to draw, as we said, closer to Mexico City's lead. Tightens it up here. The Aztecs only up now by a score of, as we get a chance to look at this return here. Oh, well, man, I hold my breath for that very reason, Mark, because Bartley, he's dangerous every time he touches the football, and almost for another one there.
Let me pull up Bartley's training regimen this entire season, because he has been electric tonight in the return game.
Yeah.
I wonder what his progression has been all season long, because that is not something you can just, do off-rip twice in a game.
Right. Mexico City still leading by 4. Good field position again, thanks to Bartley. They set up on their own 41-yard line. One man in the backfield, that is Bentley, who gets the call again. He doesn't get very far before Philadelphia Collins swarms him and brings him to the ground.
That's number 95 on the tackle. Philadelphia Collins leading the league in tackles for losses. Not quite for a loss there, but he has been proficient in that department.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned him in pre-production. Morrison with the carry, struggles to get back to the line. And again, 2 straight plays. And there you see he's one of the leaders in tackles and tackles for losses. It's Collins again on the stop.
Already 5 tackles in the evening, has 76. Prior to this game, his rate of 26 tackles for losses for his 76 total is almost 1 TFL per every 3 tackles. But what a third down play by Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Sop connecting with Bartley there, showing, hey, I can do it in the receiving department just as well as I can on the run backs. And I tell you what, it looked like Lexington was going to be able to do pretty good here and contain them. And that play right there just negates the work of this defense.
2 receivers running dig routes. They basically both juke their man defenders, and Side basically had the pick of the litter to throw the hoot to throw the ball to.
Bill Henry now going in motion and lining up on the right side of the line from Jordan Sop. Snaps, give to Bentley.
Wow, okay.
Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. They may give him forward progress.
And I think that's Roberto.
Yeah, I think so too. 2-time All-Star. 2nd and 10. Throwing.
Oh, wow.
Don't even know how Terrazas was able to really bring that one in. But again, making big plays today. Wow.
The defender also thought he had his hands on the ball. Look at him, tried to make a catch. And that probably didn't work in his favor because that meant Terrazas was almost unimpeded in his catch. Not much duress, and just cleanly makes the completion. And look at where they are again, Cameron. Near the red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Just outside the red zone. That was Nate Heslip on the coverage there. And on that angle, I thought he did have the INT, but instead, it's Mexico City with a big play and another big run on first down. This ground attack, Mark, is so good on first down runs.
Absolutely. Even our statistician, J.W. Hartshorn, agrees with you. He says Mexico City's run offense is a problem in all caps. That's how much he thinks they've been doing well. And look here, who else is going to be great for this rushing game? Gotta be Sipe.
Yeah, there you go. You call it again. That quarterback keeper. You know, it's like another famous play in the football world now. You know it's coming, but until you can stop it, what are you going to do? Sipe almost gets the touchdown there.
Yeah. I mean, it almost seemed like cover zero defense, man defense by Lexington, because the safety had to come from the edges to make that tackle.
Yeah. Now, do we see two straight sneaks here?
He might run outside. No, he just sneaks
right up the middle, over the pile, and a touchdown for Jordan Sipe in Mexico City.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And not only is it not broke, it's just so good. Against this Lexington defensive approach, the running down the middle has been wonderful.
It's so good, Mark, that I was able to call that. That tells you something. A fantastic job of Sipe extending the lead for Mexico City as the extra point is good by Chaz Blackwater. It is once again an 11-point lead for the Aztecs with 4:15 remaining in this first half.
And I've talked with Coach Dags as far as coaching goes, and back in the day, in one of my talks with him, he said, as long as we get to first and goal, or even any down and goal to go, with 2 yards to go, and he sees Sipe line up under center with just a few yards to go, it's almost guaranteed touchdown just because of how good they execute those sneaks. And you just saw it right there. He picks up rushing touchdown number 4 in as many weeks.
Yeah, incredible execution. And we talked about that at the pre-production, that with Sipe, even when the passing game is a little bit shaky, he can score with his feet, like we said, on those sneaks. This guy's a formidable threat by ground or by air. And so Slider back out for Lexington. What can they do? Trips to the right.
No running back in the backfield.
Yeah, an empty set going deep there. Hey, look, he may have had his man with a little bit of an inside angle, but he threw it too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, I put this on Slider. Definitely overthrew his defender. His defender was neither jammed nor impeded in his route. And you're right, he also had inside leverage, meaning that catch, could have been all his, but just missed the target on that one.
Interesting stats so far, as you see in the top left side of the screen. Lexington with more offensive yards so far than Mexico City. Still down by 11, though. Lexington throwing. That was a dangerous pass. And Manning doing Hall of Famer things. They're able to adjust his body, and that pass just threads the needle between 3 Mexico defenders.
It's just about the third time a Mexico defender tried to catch the ball and not catch it, and just the ball finds its way into a open Gabriel Manning. It pays off for Lexington this time, Cameron. We'll see how often Mexico can keep doing it.
Yeah, indeed. You talk about Max Jackson, Jeffrey Daggs, Liam Ryan, all with John Osiris, all with interceptions, multiple this season. They've certainly got their fair share. They've lost a couple, though, so far today, as West, with the reception, he gets 8.
The 4th second and short, it's going to bring out their Joker set here, Cameron, and I'm interested if they go to their... There was the one swing route play that worked beautifully for them.
You see what they do on 2nd and 2. They just line up. They hand it to the fullback, Francis. He tries to get left. and nothing there. Back to the ground he goes. Good pursuit by John Fowler. There's that name again.
Yep, I mean, he is the cornerstone of this defense, just always there in the middle of the field, protecting the run and even getting outside the tackle to make the tackle.
You hear the crowd trying to get their defense to make a stop, and yeah, say no more, John Fowler. Once wasn't enough. Another tackle right at the line of scrimmage, and Lexington will have to punt this one away.
That is just well executed. It starts from the defensive line, clogging up those lanes. Then the linebackers can read where this play is going. It just got sent down the middle. A different returner here than typical, but you know, defensive line helping out Fowler make the play is just an overall defensive unit. You know, credit to them.
Yeah. Yuki's punt, they're kind of angled towards the sidelines, and it lands in the arms of Jared Dumas, who gets a couple. And now, if you're Mexico City, you are in the driver's seat with 2:27 left in the half. You want to hold on to this football and end this drive with a score before halftime.
Absolutely.
See what they can do. And as we see motion, that is Honus Odeby. Play clock down to 6 before snapping to Bentley, who runs hard right side, still on his feet. I thought he was down about 2 yards prior, but he falls forward, and again, 9 more yards on a first down carry.
And that play, you know, is almost a good dissection of the Russian philosophy of Mexico City. Sure, they run out of 3 wide receiver sets, but they also run where the strong side blocking is superior to the defense. You know, they motion the receiver to provide blocking support that side, and it gave them 9 yards.
And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning, as we've got a good one here, folks. This one has been a nicely contested battle this first half. We'll see how Mexico City can round out this first half. You're watching the SFL and the Virtual Football Network. 91 yards on the ground for Mexico City already. And like we said, we're just about halfway through this thing. Thank you to the folks in the stats truck. Fantastic job tonight. Eli Diomes and J.W. Hartshorn. And there is that sneak again. And I tell you what, he gets through the entire defensive front. And there's just not many people to bring him down when he breaks free.
Yeah, and correction on my earlier read, that is not cover 0. That is cover 2. Both safeties high up in deep coverage. That means they had to spend so much time trying to chase Sipe downfield to get to the tackle.
Yeah, playing this to perfection right now. Bentley again with the carry. This time they do stand him up. He still gets 4 on the carry, but one of the lesser first down carries of the evening for the Hall of Famer.
Which is still funny to say, being a 4-yard gain is on most accounts, Cam. Pretty good gain.
Yeah, that just tells you what kind of night he has had so far. Now, Sipe throwing with time, backs up, finds his man just short of the first, and a quick timeout called. And with that previous run by Sipe right there, that made it 100 even on the ground already for Mexico City, with still a minute and some change left here.
And to think that Lexington has been allowing 114 yards rushing per game, already 100 tonight against Mexico, is insane.
The most telling stat so far indeed. Now Sipe throwing short range, but he gets the first, just what he needed, and Henry, being very smart there, runs out of bounds to save the clock. 1:03 remaining in the first half.
Yep, just hashtag throw it to the tight end, and what a beautiful route he ran there. A kind of a out route just above the defender. The defender almost felt unwary of the pass coming his way, didn't even put a hand up to try to deflect it.
You know, honestly, that's just an opportunity there, exposing the soft zone in that formation. Sipe did a good job of it, finding Henry. And so it is 1st and 10, new fresh set of downs in Lexington territory here for the Aztecs. Sipe to throw. He's got his man all by himself. It's number 10. Where have we seen this before? Jason Bartley with the touchdown.
You said it earlier, he could do it in special teams, and now he's showing you he can do it as a normal wide receiver, making a normal play, catching a great pass from Sipe. Sipe has been, relatively to his standards, struggling the last 4 weeks, but tonight he has been spectacular, and Dumas just dotting the I on that play.
Yeah, feeling very comfortable. It was J. Rock, the cornerback, number 37 for Lexington, who was trying to go up and snag the interception. And you see Sipe was just able to put it right on the money for Bartley. A little misstep there, and it pays, dearly for the Miners.
Absolutely. It's a similar case of the previous, when Mexico City defenders jumping the ball, trying to make an interception, trying to make a big play. But it's a high-risk, high-reward situation. The risk this time did not go Lexington's way.
Now 58 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Still, time for a big run back here by Manning. Oh, he just about got out of that one. He did get it out close to the 40. So they've got pretty good field position here starting at the 36 mark. And, maybe with some sideline passes there, they can work their way down and try to get some sort of points out of this before halftime.
We've seen some sideline passes, out of Lexington tonight. We'll see if they roll out one of them in this final drive of the first half. They might just go to running here, but we'll see what they do.
Slider under center. They will go to the air. He slings it. He has his man West out there. But coming in like a heat-seeking missile was Gerard Brody and just knocks that one loose.
Yep, Gerard Brody with a great pass breakup. He has been, they say he has 5 pass deflections in the season so far. He's looking for more tonight.
Rolling out again. Slider throws. Tipped. Intended for Manning. He took a shot at the end of that one as well. Hit hard. And it is 3rd and 10.
Yeah, this time a defender having the inside leverage underneath Manning and making that difficult for the big guy to make the completion. It's 3rd and 10, and if this is a pass incompletion, that's plenty of time for Mexico City to kick a field goal.
Yeah, you don't want him to get this ball back. Slider throwing, and it's incomplete. He had West tried to fit it in there softly, but there was no such thing when you got people such as number 44, the Hall of Famer Jeffrey Daggs, in the area.
Yeah, it was just an overcrowding of black uniforms, making the catch difficult. Now, there didn't seem to be a risk of an interception. That pass was quite accurate, but it was just bodies all around you. You try to make that catch under duress, it's very difficult, I tell you.
Absolutely. And like you said, they have to punt it away in Mexico City now, thinking, hey, 33 seconds, we start on our own 33-yard line. We can do this. And a great stat to pass along. Mexico City is averaging 10.4 yards per play in the second quarter alone tonight, Mark.
Truly spectacular.
We have seen, as we said, an absolute masterclass so far this second period by the Mexico City Aztecs. Now, what can they do with the final 33 seconds? They give it to Hall of Famer Bentley, and him, look at that. Yeah, I mean, they thought they had him stopped. He gets the first and then some, gets close to midfield, and they're thinking field goal range at least here.
Yeah, but I wish they tried to call a timeout. Now, otherwise, you have 3 timeouts. It might go to waste if you don't call any of them here late into the second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like you're right on that. I did expect the timeout to be called, but they seem rather content. 10 seconds and counting. We get one more snap. We do, and it's just a run left side by Morrison. So Mexico City content with the 18-point lead, Mark, as we get ready to head into halftime. So, yeah, that's an exciting first half. Mexico City able to to really capitalize on some good plays, good moments that get them out ahead 18 points, 28-10. As we welcome you into the SFL on a YouTube halftime report. Cameron Duty here with Mark Lopez as we recap the first half and look forward to what is to come in the third and fourth quarters. How we feeling, Mark? We know what Mexico City has done right. What do you think that for Lexington here behind the 8 ball that they need to change?
I mean, on the defensive side, they've got to be more aggressive on the rushing defense. Way too often they've lined up quite flat in the box against the running unit of Mexico City. Sipe is the player of the half with 1 rushing touchdown. That's been the kicker against Lexington, Cameron, is that those quarterback sneaks, typically if they can get 3 yards on the 3rd and 2 is pretty good, but they've been getting 10 yards out of the quarterback sneaks. Got to be more aggressive against that run play.
It's been an incredible thing to watch as we welcome you back inside the studio. Matt Wilson, right here. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network on YouTube. We thank all of you who are hanging out with us on this wonderful Saturday night. Duty with Mark Lopez and Ellie Diomes and J.W. Hartshorn on stats, and Cameron Irvine at SFL HQ. So we start with a touchback for Lexington. No doubt about it, Mark. Right here, you just want to see something, a long drive. Of course, you don't want to go 3 and out early and have to put your defense back out there.
Absolutely.
That has been a weak spot for Lexington so far this season. They're trying to remedy that. Good carry, though, this time. This is, we talk so much about Mexico City getting 9 on first down. Well, there's Ian Francis doing the same.
A nice 9-yard carry, prior to this play. In 6 carries was averaging only 1 yard per carry, more than doubling up his yardage. But that's kind of way too much credit. He's only had 15 yards in 7 attempts.
So 2nd and 1. We'll see what Lexington comes up with here. Well, it is back to the ground game.
Oh, got it.
And yeah, Mexico City able to get that one back. I believe it was Dags who popped it out.
Yeah, that's just a great play by Mexico City.
Oh.
Dags pops it out, and
Jackson.
I think Jackson, gets the recovery. It's the 1-2 punch of the safeties making the play, forcing the turnover, and me oh my, they're back here at Lexington's side of the field quickly.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you get a good positive play to start the drive on first drive of the third quarter here. And now, give it to Bentley, and he's just going to take bodies with him as he gets 6 on first down. Already in field goal range here. And I tell you what, early in this game, they could just about make this an almost impossible mountain to climb for Lexington if they're able to get back in the end zone.
Iggy Turner, they're trying to stop Bentley, but was just dragged 5 yards extra, after the handoff to Bentley.
Bill Henry is going in motion. And lined up in an eye. Sipe with the carry. Gets the first and slides down safely. Like you said, a thing of beauty. And if it's not broke, no need to fix it. Just keep on doing it.
And unfortunately for Lexington, it seems like they just showed the same defensive play against the sneak that they've been showing in the first quarter. So if they're not going to adjust, Mexico doesn't need to adjust either.
Jason Bartley, watch that, guys. He moves in motion from right to left. He has been a threat all evening long. 2 touchdowns on the evening already. Now Bentley, he's bottled up, but he's still fighting hard. He does get back to the line of scrimmage before he is finally brought down, with credits going to Iggy Turner there. Got him that time.
Yeah, but Iggy is probably the 5th or 4th tackler in that array of tacklers trying to bring Bentley down. That's just how good a running back he is to stay upright that long.
They give it to number 27, and that is Morrison with the carry. And we've got a player down for Lexington. It's Williams, the cornerback, in for that play on the ground in pain.
Not what you like to see in, in an effort where you're behind 18 points, especially with the opponent at basically your 10-yard line already.
Yeah, so hopefully Williams will not be out of this game for very long. And hopefully it's nothing serious. 3rd and 2 situation. Again, lined up in the eye. Do we see a sneak here?
I'd wager yes.
And it is. And he is almost stopped. Boy, that's the only one tonight he's really had to work to get. And he does get it, but he gets blasted at the very end.
He did get blasted backwards, lifted off his feet. It probably is gonna, keep him shaking, but we'll see. They line up in pair slot for probably only the 2nd time tonight.
Bentley with the carry. Again, just dragging Lexington Miners with him. He gets about 3 on the carry, draws ever so closer to the goal line.
Another showcase of running towards where the extra blockers are. They put 2 tight ends on the left side of the line, give it to Bentley and run that side, and let the extra blockers make some plays. Oh my goodness.
And there you go, another fine example of Jordan Sott taking that quarterback keeper to the end zone for another touchdown for the Aztecs.
And at that point, you're no longer looking at what the offense is going to do, because you know what they're doing. You look at what the defense did in that play, and at the snap, the linebackers, all of them fell back in soft coverage. I mean, what are you doing? Rush up the gut, block the gaps, make those quarterback sneaks difficult, because they have just been playing like a sponge.
Yeah, and Blackwater with the extra point, and it is good. It is a 25-point lead for Mexico, and we're not too far into this 3rd quarter of play, and you see the frustration by that Lexington defense.
Type now with 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, Cameron. He has 7 in the season. 7 rushing touchdowns. It's going to pull him up the ladder. He was already 12th, tied for 12th most in the season across all positions. Going to add 2 more tonight.
It's incredible. It really is just what Jordan Sott is currently able to do. On the other side of the ball, you got Kidney Slider, who, we really can't say that Lexington has did anything wrong. And that sounds weird saying that, but they've just not been able to capitalize and get the drives and the plays to go their way that they needed enough. As we see a bruising run by Francis, and I know that's kind of weird to say, but wouldn't you kind of say the same, Mark? I mean, I can't really point to one defensive thing that has been wrong today in their gameplay. Mexico City's just been great.
No turnovers. All the turnovers coming their way. Their special teams scoring as well. It's all facets, all levels working wonders tonight.
Yeah, Dags did get the fumble on that last series. That is really the only misstep, as that is a good carry by Dion James for the first. They needed that.
And it's a much-needed, comfort win for Mexico City. And I'm saying win already. They're up 25 with a quarter and a half to go. But it just feels like that way, that they might just settle business here, which is a good turnaround after losing hard against Sin City last week.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. It's a good rebound for Mexico City. It looked good. Tiptoeing to stay in bounds, and DJ Bandit able to get the reception. So 5 there. And maybe this is what, if you're Lexington, if this is what you have to do, which is kind of dink and dunk your way to, down the field, so be it right now if it's working.
It might be working, but it might not work fast enough. You're down 4 scores. 25 is... actually, it is 4 scores. Great running here by Francis.
Good run. Yeah, I mean, you can tell there's still all heart in this team. I mean, they're certainly not quitting, just trying to find a way to really keep this offensive machine rolling.
This time, Mexico City playing with safeties and linebackers back against the run, and Lexington make them pay. Mexico City won't likely commit the same mistake.
Halfway through this 3rd quarter now, and the throw. just good coverage downfield. What more can you say? Dags is down there. Jackson's down there. Stop us if you've heard this before. But, man, they have really made it hard for Kenny Slider to find his weapons tonight.
Yep, absolutely. This game for Mexico City and for SIPE especially is very reminiscent of their game against Florida, where that's an incompletion there. Against Florida, SIPE went for only 6 pass attempts, completing 5 of them. But he also went for a touchdown in that game. A very similar, play style in this game. And it worked there, it worked here, it's working here. It's something that Mike Dax would want to keep coming back to. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no need as we see a man in motion here, putting trips to the left side of Kenny Slider. Slider with time, but he's going to step up and try to do it with his feet. And no, he takes a shot at the end of that, adding a little insult to injury there. And that's Ryan, who just came in and leveled him for the 3rd down stoppage.
Liam Ryan, the nickel corner, making the play, making a huge hit on the quarterback.
Goodness gracious. And Yuki to punt. He'll want to pin him deep here. Fair catch called for at the 25. So
return it. You've been returning it so well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, talking about Mexico City and everything that they have done this evening, they've got check marks in all the departments, including special teams.
Absolutely.
So as we said, SIPE, he's only had 9 attempts so far through the air, but he has made them pay on the ground. Nice, well-timed throws. And the rest of them, they've been working that ground attack. There's Bentley again going for 7. That is the big key, the big focus. They are just completely gassing this defense of Lexington with this ground attack that's getting 7, 8, 9 yards a carry sometimes.
And you see on the screen 5.4 yards per carry for Bentley. And we're going to get another SIPE call here.
And he's going to
there's a turnover. Well.
Well, the first mistake of the evening, that quarterback keeper for the first time tonight is going to come back and bite Jordan SIPE as that gets punched out. And, man, just a really good job there, Mark, of number 45, as I try to find him on the depth chart here for Lexington. You'll have to forgive me if my eye's not working. They're able to punch that one free.
That's the 2 of us, because I also can't see his number at the depth chart myself.
If that was 45, I wouldn't be surprised to say that, my eyes has failed me every now and then. But what a great defensive play right there by Lexington, trying to stay in this one. Yeah.
I thought that was number 66, Tyrone Yates. That was instead Skylar Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley. We've heard that name called a couple of times tonight as well. You see the stats on Kingsley finally getting the first sack of the night, and Slider had just nothing doing there.
Yeah, the reason why I almost jumped off my seat thinking that was Tyrone Yates, because he is still on the milestone watch for sack number 100 for the last 3 games.
And again, here we see, and trying to slide into a tackle and getting completely leveled again by Dags is Kenny Slider. He's really taking some big hits out here in the last 2 series.
Yeah, this Mexico City defense saw what the Lexington defense did to SIPE and just trying to return the favor in the other quarterback.
3 receivers lined up on either side of Kenny Slider, trying to get a conversion here on 3rd down and 13. He's going to step up. He's going to run, and he just slides. Not the thing you want to see. Obviously, you get the turnover, which was much needed. I know there was nobody downfield, but man, you hate to just see a slide in that drive like that.
Yeah. And not only was there nobody downfield, Cam, there were 3 of the 4 receivers midfield, who were on middle routes, cutting their routes short with a hook route, meaning that Slider really was looking for one person, and whoever that one person is downfield was very well covered.
And so Dumas there with the return and stopped right in his tracks. Mexico City will take over at the 18-yard line. Well, I tell you what, it's been a hard-fought game, been very physical. Mexico City now still currently leading by 25. The defense of Lexington back out there trying to work hard, trying to get another stop. Play clock down to 5 before it is snapped. Bentley with the carry, trapped behind a lineman, and they'll bring him down. They will say forward progress, gets him back, and the tackle is made by Chris Andrews.
Yeah, it's an outpouring, a barrage, so to speak, of Mexico City on both sides, the defense and the offense. I mean, if not turned over by Cypher earlier, who knows how many more points Mexico would be up with.
Yeah, exactly. As Morrison now getting in on the carry as well. We've seen Bentley and Sop with the majority of the carries, but Morrison has had a really nice, quiet day at the office as well.
And also a good respite for Jordan Sepp, who on the passing game prior to this and the last 5 games have thrown 9 picks and only 1 touchdown in that span during the last 4 games. So a nice, game from him tonight. We'll see if he can complete this and continue a good streak tonight. He does.
Oh,
that's just how well he has rebounded over the 4 games of a bit of a struggle for him.
Off his back foot, too. To find Bill Henry there, it's just a thing of beauty. Bill sitting in that curl route right there. That's nice.
Yep.
So we've got a score update for the Denver and Oklahoma City game in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Denver leads Oklahoma City 35-0. All Denver, all day out there in Oklahoma City. As here in Mexico City, Ray Bentley trying to run wild and a good gain on first down. We're within the final minute of this third quarter. And quickly, I would like to say, like this video, and I'll say it again, like this video. Please help us support our hardworking crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commenting on the video. It really helps the channel out as we see another keeper by Slider, and he gets the first. Again, it really helps the channel out, so please turn on your notifications so you'll never miss a live stream, a highlight, or a podcast, or a sneak by Jordan Sipe for that matter. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. They've been plenty of keepers tonight, if you're a fan of that. Fowler in the chat, don't you run it swipes, I swear. Yeah, Sipe is, he's certainly frustrated those. Yeah, the penalty there, face mask. That's going to go the way of, unfortunately, against Lexington. Mexico City will accept. Man. When it goes bad,
yeah.
Yeah. And that is going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. Folks, get your 4s up in the chat if you've got it. 25-point lead for the Aztecs. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Cameron Duty here with Mark Lopez, Ellie Diomez, and J.W. Hartsword, and Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. And most importantly, we thank you for staying tuned in, enjoying this Saturday night block here of SFL action. More to come this weekend. Bentley, another good carry on first down. He gets 6.
Yeah, insane efficiency from all of the running backs in Mexico City. Bentley averaging 5.2 per carry. Morrison averaging 6. Sipe averaging 6.2. He's going to throw, though.
Yeah. And getting the conversion when needed. And there's Noe Terrazas, who's also had a big day at the office. And Mark, you're talking about all those, yards per carry with these halfbacks. In that third quarter for Lexington, they were only able to average 2.6 yards per play.
Yikes. It's less than any of the players in Mexico City's yardage up play.
So for Mexico City here, now, the objective is, of course, to continue pushing the ball down the field, run the clock out. You score a touchdown or two, well, that's even an added bonus. Bentley's not done working yet. a gain of 5 on a first down. And, we'll stop here for a minute, Mark, to talk about Mexico City and just how important this game is for them to keep up with Houston, who on a 9-1 record in that South Division is having an incredible season.
Yeah, Houston, who along with DC have finally clinched a playoff spot. Mexico City, it's trying to keep up not only with Houston but with the teams at the top, because them along with Washington and Denver are trying to keep up with the top 4 teams. All 3 coming to the week 6-3, and the top 4, Vancouver and Pittsburgh, are both 7-2, now 8-2 for Pittsburgh after their most recent win. Look at this
side. Oh my god!
Trying to go for a hat trick.
He's so elusive too. I mean, isn't that? I mean, how he just kind of sneaks through there. I love watching the replays of it. How a man that size can make himself that small and disappear in and then through that pile of bodies is incredible. We won't get to see a replay there, but you may get to see a replay of that play.
Watch the linebackers. If they go soft here, they do.
There it is. Turning sideways to get the hat trick. As you said, he throws that football into the end zone to give to one of these Mexico City faithful, and that will just about do it in this one.
Incredible performance by Sipe on the ground. Just turned him into a running back at this point, because he has now 8 rushing touchdowns in the season. He has now overtaken type attack of the Chicago Warriors in most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. He had 6, and now this is the 8th for Sipe.
Isn't that something? Wow. What a night to remember by Jordan Sipe. As the extra point by Blackwater is good, and as we said, it is a 32-point lead, 42-10 in favor of the Aztecs, with a good chunk of this fourth quarter left to play. I think, Mark, if I'm being completely transparent here, I think this is a good time for Lexington to try to work on some things, maybe some different formations, things that can work on them here. As we got a pretty good run back again by Manning. What do you see them doing here in this final 7:42?
I mean, ideally, yeah, you're right. Be more, I guess, have more sense of urgency, throw the ball more, but it's easier said than done here. They line up in another 2 tight end set, 2 wide receiver set, and if you pass out of this formation, Cam, typically you want more than the 2 wide receivers you have on the field, but they go for it anyway. They hand it off.
Yeah, they do. They hand it off to Deion James, and he gets a gain of 1 before being tackled.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'm interested if we can potentially find the, what's the term? The defeat factor, or the defeat, something of a handoff down 32 points with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Right, and we'll see it again this time with Francis, who does make some men miss, and he gets close to the first, and boy, that guy has heart indeed, still out there pounding.
Yep, I mean, it's at least the minimum. It's you want to see your players play hard is the minimum of it, but I guess the retrospect is maybe there's just a strategic shortcoming that just has to be cleaned up. And the refs give it to him.
They did. Yeah, I thought that was going to be behind the lines, but they do actually, they get the spot there, so the drive will continue. Did not expect that from their angle. Their vantage point here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no challenge. Up 32. And again to the ground game they go once more with Francis. Now, talking about margins, that we were speaking of, how about a margin of victory? And just to tell you what kind of season it has been for Mexico City, this is not their largest margin of victory of the season. That came back week 4 so far. We still got time to go. Currently, Denver, they had a victory over Denver, as we see this pass complete finally here, making it to Chris Arthur for the first down. But, in week 4, they defeated the Denver Nightwings 44-0. So that still is their biggest margin of victory.
Yep, it has been an interesting story for this Mexico City season. That was they had a 44, win advantage over Denver, but that plus a 29-point victory margin over Florida is their only three-score advantage over any team in any of their wins. Because you look at their win against Fort Worth, that was a 6-point win in overtime. Against Carolina, a 5-point win, almost good. Carolina had a chance at that. Bossier City also won by 5. Against Baltimore in week 3, they won by 13. So that's a 2-score win, but still pretty close. So it's been, there's been big wins. They've been close wins. They've also had big losses against Cincinnati and Vancouver, both over 30-point deficits.
Yeah, when they've lost, they have lost in certainly a terrible way, as that's really the only way I can put it, is West is able to come up with a beautiful reception there. Great job by Alexander West. But yeah, 2 of their 3 losses, margins of victory there for the opposing team. Sin City beat Mexico City by 31 by a score of 34-3. And then in Vancouver, in week 9, you know about this one, Mark, Vancouver getting the 42-0 victory over Mexico City. But I will say this Mexico City team really looks like they have done their homework and went back to the drawing board from that earlier loss of the season.
They look to the successes they've had this season. Breaking a sack here.
My goodness, look at Slider just doing anything he can to turn a negative to a positive.
Yeah, it's still 2nd down, so that means it's not yet over for the drive. They are now in scoring range, but a touchdown is what they have set their sights on. So.
Indeed, and you got to imagine this would be 4-down territory, I would think, unless they want to take the field goal points, which I guess is possible on this side of the field as we see a no huddle on 3rd due.
A no huddle with this formation, not quite the best.
Yeah, split backs. They do throw. They make it happen as Arthur, who somehow wrangled that one in. Split back, still no huddle. They throw to the flat.
Oh, no.
And just dropped it. DJ Bandit, he's going to want that one back.
Absolutely. He had his hands on the ball. Had the good route to only 1-on-1 man coverage versus him and the defender, meaning had a chance to break a tackle, but instead it's incompletion. Gives him a chance to change the formation, though.
It does, and they needed that. Trips to the right now for Slider and company. Blocks picked up nicely there. West trying to make beautiful grab of it, but we've called Jeffrey Daggs his name this entire evening, and number 44 prevails once again.
I like this route from West. It's a quick slant route, what some coaches call a hot route, because it's a slant off rip. But Daggs is just at the right place at the right time. You also saw West make it a one-handed catch, which means it's an easier pass to break up.
Yeah, indeed. And that one a little out front of him, so he tries to get the one-handed snag there. Trips to the right again, or to the left this time, excuse me, as we see a wide receiver going to the right. That's Chris Alder, the tight end. Slider again, he'll sling it, and nobody is home. Incomplete, looking for Sango, and I think there may have been a little miscommunication on that route.
Didn't seem like it, but it was also almost an interception, as Gerard Brody actually tried to make a play on the ball, but just falls in the wrong direction as to where the ball was going. They'll settle for a field goal.
Yeah, Yuki going to be on to attempt this 31-yard field goal. As the snap and the hold, it's all good. He's able to tack on 3. A 14-play drive that took up 3.5 minutes ends in the Yuki field goal, as that will, as we said, put a couple more points on the board for Lexington. And that is an interesting stat. We've talked about the total yards and just how good, as we see an onside kick here with 4 minutes and 11 seconds. I'll pause for that. That's handled nicely. And guess who? That's appropriate. Bartley.
He's on both. He's the returner on onside kicks, the returner on kickoffs, on punts. He does everything.
So basically what he is saying in doing that, Mark, is if you how could you, and he's talking to you directly in this, I feel, because I'm going to go to you with this, at the end of the game, but basically he's trying to tell you, who else could you give the game ball to?
Yeah, no, I
It's
have to
what
agree.
he said,
Well, I mean,
what more?
there's a good case for Bentley and Sight.
Yeah, there he is. So, yeah, he's wanting that game ball real bad, though.
Yeah, his efforts, on all phases of the ball game, just short of putting him on defense and making him play cornerback.
Yeah, it's incredible. What a good job that so many All-Stars of this Mexico City team has certainly done here with 3:43 remaining. We take a look at the upcoming schedule for Mexico City. Just, can you believe this, Mark? 2 weeks remaining in this regular season. I can't believe it. I don't know. I feel like we just press fast forward on the entire season. We were just all at the convention, what seems like yesterday. As we see another carry there, Sight just getting the first before he's thrown to the ground, and I've seen some frustration in that tackle.
Yeah, it's probably the more better tackled play for the quarterback sneak. Going back to your point, time flies, Cameron. It seems like, just at least for us in Vancouver, it almost seems like just yesterday that it was week 1, and we got a surprise win against Baltimore, but now it's basically 2 weeks to go, as you mentioned. All the teams at the top 12 looking to wrestle for the best possible positioning in the playoffs.
Yeah, indeed. And as we see a delay of game.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a small wrinkle against Mexico City, who's played, as we said, a pretty much impeccable game tonight, completely flawless on so many fronts.
Almost a free timeout for Lexington, but you're up 31 points, and it's 29 points. Even if you get a safety and give the ball back, it's tough for Lexington to come back here.
It is 1st and 15 here for Mexico City, and we'll pick up that point in just a moment after this play is Sight throwing to the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. For the upcoming opponents for Mexico City, they go on the road to play. This is going to be the game of the week, no doubt. The Houston Headhunters for a divisional matchup. That is October the 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Everybody's eyes are going to be on that. And then they finish the season at home against Albuquerque on October the 31st.
Yep, a divisional back-to-back games for Mexico City in the next 2 weeks. Houston and Albuquerque, again, both divisional rivals, both in the playoff race. I believe Albuquerque just on the outside looking in, coming into this week at 4-6. They sit at 15th after tiebreakers. But with a potential win, they could keep up with, because you look at Florida, who's 4-5 and in currently, but maybe 6 wins might be the magic number.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like we said, we love this time of year as we get to the 2-minute warning. We will take that, and we'll be right back, folks. You are watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Camera duty right here with my buddy Mark Lopez as Mexico City with the commanding victory. Big shout out to Eli Diomez and J.W. Hartsford in the stats booth tonight. They've just been incredible, feeding us some great info all game long. Great little tidbits and insight as a timeout is called as it's 4th and 5 after that Bentley run.
Yeah, looking elsewhere around the league, Cameron, if you're okay talking about playoff picture, because I think that is what a lot of teams are also interested about right now. Vancouver and Pittsburgh, both 7-2 for the 3rd and 4th spot of the top 4 division. Denver, who were 6-3, but it looks like they might come away with a win in OKC. If I'm a bit daring, they're going to end up 7-3.
Bold, astute observation there.
But they're going to come out 7-3 with a win, which means they're going to tie Vancouver and Pittsburgh. Mexico City, after this win, is also going to be 7-3. So all eyes on Vancouver. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh won their earlier game tonight, which means they're already up to 8-2, tying DC. So all eyes on Vancouver tomorrow. If they lose, then the top of the leaderboard will be shaken up as to whether they're going to be bumped down to 4th or even 5th. Probably not 6th because they have the advantage over Mexico City with a win over Mexico City. But it'll be an interesting shakeup if we see a Vancouver loss. Now, I'm hoping for a Vancouver win as one
absolutely.
of the coaches, but that is at least a story to look forward to.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Mark, I think this is a great time to go ahead and mention the lineup we've got tomorrow for our Sunday SFL 4-pack. As we'll get started with that game you mentioned, Minnesota in need of a win, welcoming Vancouver. Plus, we'll have DC at Bossier City, Queen City at Sin City, and Detroit going to Los Angeles. The coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. That is right, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. It's going to be some good games, I'm telling you. Look at this. Nice play over the middle. This Lexington team, and I think we need to take a moment as they call a timeout and just, highlight them and some of the players they got. Such good weapons. The season, Mark, has not went the way that they wanted it to, but they keep fighting. No. They are currently on a 6-game losing streak, but they've got opponents up ahead with Charleston at 4-6 and Los Angeles going in this week at 2-7. Wanting to get on that victory column one more time as that pass falls incomplete. Two opponents that, they could stack up pretty well against, I think.
Yeah, but it's, doubters around the league look at Lexington's record compared to Charleston. I think Charleston came away with a loss today, if I'm not mistaken, versus Fort Worth in basically a beatdown. So they're now down to 4-7 in the season. I think LA might be the more closer matchup as far as numbers go, just based on records. Great reflection there. Yeah, I think they got a chance against both teams. I gotta agree with you there.
They do, and I think, like you said, you talk about Slider, you've got Alexander West, Marquise Sago, Chris Arthur, the Hall of Famer Gabriel Manning. That's just on the offensive side of the ball. This team has some great weapons. Just not, it's been anemic at times this season in their offensive input. Something they'll want to critique as we go into offseason. There's a great play, though. Manning over top of about 3 defenders there makes the first down grab, and a timeout is called. But yeah, I think that's something that we certainly expect to see them improve upon in the offseason.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's any team coming into any season is where can we improve? And they were hoping to improve from their 5-7 season last season. They had a 7-5 season 2 seasons ago, so they're trying to get back to that winning way of getting into the playoffs. They were just 1-out in that season 22. Season 23. But this franchise overall has been in and out of winning ways. And I know for sure this ownership, Jaden Swift, Marco Swift, Berto Demora, want to go back to the playoffs. And for them at least, it might be a next season thing because they're going to fall down to 2-8, potentially mathematically out of it.
They'll keep digging. There's no doubt about it as that pass falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 minutes, 7 remaining in this fourth quarter. But yeah, like you said, they've got the tools, the utilities, the people to certainly right the ship there. And like you said, you just want to end the season on a high note and 2 more games to do that, to get back in the win column. Would feel pretty good for Lexington to be able to do so before season's end, as we see another man in motion. Got good players. Got in the chat as we see Slider throwing to West, one-handed grab. Great Lexington players in the chat as well as Mexico. Enjoyed having them along today as well. Always enjoy reading what they have to say. Slide back of the end zone, touchdown. Yeah, DJ Bandit. That's what you like to see, and that's something that you can take back and grow upon. Really, what a great formation and route here.
Yeah, I mean, at least tonight they've shown that they can generate yards. They're matched in Mexico City, almost yard per yard. You look at the top of your left top left of your screen, 380 yards to 396. So as far as generating offense, they can bring it to you. It's just unfortunate that they can't convert on the key downs. But you got to give credit on this play to Slider at the end of the ball game, showing his stuff.
Yeah, a 10-play drive that does end in a touchdown, which, as you said, is something that they have tried to work on this whole season. So, 20 points on the board, the onside kick, and look who gets it again. He's going to get you again. Ball, Mark Lopez to the end zone on the onside kick recovery. His second special teams touchdown tonight, third overall. How about Jason Bartley?
Yep. Open your checkbooks and give this guy his second incentive, because he already had 100K for the initial return. This is another 100K incentive for the second return touchdown.
There goes that man again. That's incredible. What a display that we have seen by Bartley. Like I said, a lot of individual efforts tonight for Mexico City, as that extra point is good as they lead 52-20. But holy cow, you know, did you have that on your bingo card? 2 special teams touchdowns by the same player in one game. I certainly did not.
I did not. But as soon as, you know, Lexington got into onside kick, that was definitely already in the docket, seeing as how Mexico City decided to put number 10 himself in that kickoff return, onside kickoff return unit.
Manning trying to return out to the 29 of his own there with 42 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. As we'll get a look at his stats indeed. He's been a busy guy returning those as well. A couple of runs we thought he was going to be able to bust out as well with the Mexico City kick coverage there, finally able to clamp down. But yeah, for Mexico City now, Mark, you got to turn your attention to the game ball and who you're going to give it to. And like we said, so many individual efforts to look at as we see trips to the right for Slider, and 42 seconds will remain here. Throwing and complete to Manning, short of the first, but with no timeouts. We're going to move quickly here. They snap it at 30 seconds remaining, bring up 3rd and 3 quickly.
Yep. Free timeout with a spike, though.
Indeed. Folks, we want to remind you to smash that like button if you haven't already. Share the channel, the feed as well. Let people know what you're doing on your Saturday night. Again, we want to just see this league continue to grow in leaps and bounds, and we can only do it with your help. That pass incomplete forces a 4th and 3 coming up. This could be the final play of the game for Lexington.
I also want to shout out the SFL Minor League. You have a Tuesday triple header coming up. So if you haven't been joining us in the minor league, it's never too late to join us. We got 3 games this Tuesday as the top teams trying to fight for home field advantage for the upcoming minor league playoff.
Yeah, things are just getting exciting there too.
Oh,
there's the interception and the run back. They've been looking for it all day long. Liam Ryan with the touchdown, pick 6.
Doing it all. How about 21 non-offensive points by this Mexico City team? It's gonna definitely push them up the leaderboard in, you know, offense points per game. 58 on the board pending extra point. 59. They almost got the 60 burger.
Yeah. Liam Ryan's 30th career interception and his 3rd touchdown, 3rd pick 6 there. And that is the icing on the cake, as the extra point is good by Blackwater. And we mentioned the total yards. That's actually was mentioned in the chat a minute ago. 396 Mexico City, 387 to Lexington. But like we said, all facets of this football team has been able to score and score mightily. And boy, you just can't beat efficiency such as that.
And Manning is a great return, though. Breaks one tackle.
Oh yeah, gets out to midfield. Yeah, he wanted a return of his own. I don't blame him. Still fighting hard out there. It's the Hall of Famer Manning. Great job.
He finally gets over 200 kickoff return yards. That's just how much Mexico City has been in kickoff scenarios because that's how often they've been putting points on the board.
Yeah.
Manning with 200 kickoff return yards is insane.
Well, we talked before the broadcast about, Collins and Roberto being leaders in tackles and TFLs this season because, that is how many times that they've had to be out as well and in defensive coverage. So, yeah, sometimes they've been stretched to their extremities as we look, and we will get at least one more play here, probably one more play as that pass falls incomplete.
Maybe,
and let the celebration begin. What was that, Mark?
Maybe 2 more plays, but we'll see.
Maybe. That's true. We'll see how quick they want to be about this here.
They got to get out of bounds, though, if this is an incompletion.
Dog formation. One-man flank to the left. That's Francis. With time, throwing deep back. We will get one more play as you predicted there, Mark. That was intended for Manning.
Batted down the Hail Mary. And I mean, yeah, that basically is the mode that they are in right now. Just throw the ball and say a prayer.
And how about this Mexico City crowd? Man, they're still into this one. Almost a 60 burger put up by their team. And they're still chanting for the defense.
What the heck?
And there it is. Coming back the other way. Still on his feet. My goodness. What a play. That's going to be Tyrone Carter, who checked in as the strong safety, making a Superman grab.
Who is this guy? Look at this wall frame against this giant Lexington players. He makes the play to end it all.
What a game. What a finish. What a night for Mexico City. 59-20. The final score. The Aztecs head off to the locker room to celebrate. Mark Lopez, we've joked about it. We've went on for the past couple of series and snaps. Give me your final thoughts and your game bomb, my friend.
It's Mexico City from top to bottom, all facets of the game, all 3 departments, offense, defense, and special teams scoring for the 59 points you see on the board. And you got to give the game ball, you got to probably cut it into 3 and give it to 3 different players. Because Sipe was insane, Bentley was insane, and also Bartley with the 2 return touchdowns.
Yeah, incredible, folks. We thank you for watching, being a part of this. It has been a pleasure. For my co-host here, Mark Lopez, and in stats, Eli Diomez and JW Hartson, I am Cameron Duty. Thank you so much. You've been watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.